They got Ashley Philippine. Face the kid. I know he's very
Hey,
smart. Yo, how's it going?
I'm multitasking. I'm working from home and doing this.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Um,
So what you saying AJ wasn't mentally there? Why'd you say that?
so when he fought Andrew Reid the first and second time, if you look at his mental state, um, when he was in the changing room, he was like jolly, he's talking to everyone. It didn't look like he's like zoned into the fight. He's going out talking to the crowd and whatnot. But then second fight, it was a different AJ. It was like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I'm going to kill him. Like he's got that killer mentality where I'm going to do a job on him. And
Yeah.
then, sorry, one of my friends commented. Sorry. Even in this fight, like before, like when he was in the changing room, he's talking way too casually. He didn't look like he's ready for the fight. Like, even when he walked out, he's making sure he's turning back and looking at the sort of crowd and talking to them. And I'm thinking, like, what are you doing? Like, this is a massive fight. You need to be in the fight zone.
Yeah.
Um, like I've done boxing myself. I'm not in shape now, clearly not. But I've had fights, and
How many did you have?
I've had seven. This was before I got married, so this was
Okay.
like semi-pro sort of fights. But the thing is, like when you're going into the ring, um, you need to have that killer mentality. Like that that person's coming there to hurt you, and you have to be ready for anything. And for me, I didn't read that in his body language.
Yeah.
And even when he was in the ring and he's getting tagged and he's getting hit with certain punches, it
Chaz.
didn't seem like he was like ready to do anything about it. It was like, "Oh, I got hit, and what? I'll just carry on." It just seemed like a sparring session to him. It didn't seem like it was serious. That's my opinion. Like that's what I thought. I felt like he could have done more. Because the thing is, we've seen spite in him. Like when he fought Dillian White, there was like a personal animosity with his opponent, which is why he was a lot more aggressive, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't perfect boxing. It wasn't perfect boxing, but we know he can go. He can have a tear up when he wants to. But he didn't do anything. He was just standing his ground. I think partly it's his corner's fault. Listening into what the corner was saying, I don't completely agree with it. Um, sorry. So I don't completely agree with the corner work because I do think like he's in a massive fight and you're telling him to stand there and box and say your opponent's going to come to you. But when you're in that situation, you need to sort of go forward and bring the fight to your opponent.
Yeah.
Um, but that doesn't mean that you're not smart about it. You can be smart and go forward at the same time. And I didn't see that happening.
Yeah. So what do you think was the main uh, key factor for Usyk, like the positives you saw in him? Because everyone talks about what AJ didn't do, but what did you like what you saw Usyk actually doing in there?
In fairness, I was surprised he carried his weight well from cruiserweight to heavyweight and done what he done. I was shocked. He actually carried his weight really well. I mean, I've seen him box at cruiserweight, and I thought, yeah, he's amazing. And I thought, can he carry that power going into heavyweight? And I was shocked by his performance. So fair play to Usyk. He done really well.
Yeah.
Carrying that weight, managing the movement, and still tagging him with the backhand as well, which is not easy. Um, I've sort of fought at different weights, and you can tell like it does have an impact in terms of your style of boxing. It might limit your movement, it might limit the type of combinations you put together, and he done everything really well. So credit to Usyk. He done, he fought a good fight. You can't take anything away from him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So then there's a rematch clause in place. How do you see that going in the rematch?
if AJ doesn't change things up, it's another win for Usyk. But if AJ does change a few things about his fighting style. When I say style, I don't mean his boxing style. What I mean is he needs to be aggressive.
His attitude. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example. Chisora, he's not the best boxer, but
mm.
he brought the fight to Usyk, and to me, he done a better job.
Yeah, he won more
Um,
rounds. He won more than
yeah,
3 rounds.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So for someone who can't box, he had the right game plan, having a tear up with him, because you can't give a boxer the chance to box. If someone can box really well, you have to take that positive attribute away from them, and the only way you're going to do that is by roughing them up. It might be dirty boxing, but you have to do what you have to do to win a fight, right?
Yeah.
And he didn't do that. So that's why I'm using Chisora as an example in this case. So yeah.
Mm. So do you think maybe that AJ would need to cut down his team? Because I see he's got like 35 plus man in the team. I've heard people say that there's too many voices in his ear, too many voices in the corner, too many voices in his life. Do you think he needs to sort of make the circle a bit smaller so he can
I,
focus?
I, I think he's got too many yes men in his corner. He needs someone that's going to ask those difficult questions. That's
Mm.
what I think. Someone needs to ask those difficult questions to Rob McCracken and say, "Look, is this working? Or can we change this? Or can we change that?" But at the moment, there's too many yes men. You can have 100 people in the corner; it doesn't really make a difference. If all of them are saying yes, you're not going to change anything, are you?
Mm. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for giving me your opinion. We're going to get
No,
some more people on,
sure.
get their opinions on the fight. But yeah, stay tuned and tell a friend to tell a friend. All
Yeah.
right.
Take care. Yeah.
Bless. Peace.
Right.
Let's get someone else on. Who else wants to come on? We've got Trey Waters in the building. We've got David Hay up in here. Big up Nick Manners. Giants on point. Subtle movements, constantly offsetting. AJ, no commitment physically from AJ. Yeah, very true. Let me get Basic Kid on because I know he's dying to gloat. It's been on me all weekend. Um, yeah, let's get it. Basically. But yeah, let me give you my opinion of what I thought. AJ, being the bigger man, the taller man, the musclier man, he didn't use any of his physical attributes, which he should have been using on the inside. He didn't even get on the inside. Why? I don't know. Because someone like Fury now, he'd have he'd definitely be on the grappling, headlocking, leaning on a man, um, on a lean gan thing. Yeah, and working on the inside, roughing him up, getting him tired. AJ, I don't know why he tried to. I don't know if he tried to outbox. I don't know. It just seemed very tentative, but he was getting hit with the double backhand by the lefts. Good skillful amateur moves. October already was exhausted. Yeah, but that was. I'd say he got tired around round 8. And by round 8, I had it what? Well, after round 8, I had it 6-2. Yeah, I had it 6-2. In the end, I had it 9-3 overall. But yeah, 6-2. So yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Come on the live. Let's just chop it up. Yeah, the tactics. Rob McCracken wasn't really good performance in the corner. A lot of people ain't really getting onto him like they get onto other coaches. They talk about what they say in the corner. There was people in the corner after the fight, Clifton Mitchell and co going, yeah, we got this, ain't it? I was thinking, mate, what's his name? Darren Barker had it level after the end of 8. I was like, come on, mate, this is a joke. Like, let's keep it honest. Like, let's not try and have another Campbell Hatton situation going on tonight. But yeah, it was a strange performance. But he got outboxed by the better man. He didn't use. Yeah, even after when you're down. The only time I think Rob probably told him he was down was at the beginning of the going out to the 12th round because you could see AJ's face like, what? So I think Rob was telling him, mate, you need a knockout to win. But then it was too late, and then he nearly got stopped in the last round anyway. So what's this? Ash Jones. AJ is a good boxer. Usyk is elite. The size difference apart from weight was not a lot different. Usyk is an elite boxer. He can mix it up. Showed that when they did trade. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did have good combinations, which he hasn't really used for ages. Base to Kid. AJ has no inside game. You did say this, to be fair, before. Usyk better on the inside than him. He's only good mid-range. You were saying this before. I have to give you that base. I thought AJ with the uppercuts on the inside he's shown in the past. But yeah, he was right. Ash Jones, 6-2 after 8, mate. Yeah, same. 8-4, possibly 9-3. Yeah, I did 9-3, but yeah, if you had it 8-4, same thing. Yeah. October Red and Asda. Don't get started on Campbell Hatton. Yeah, that was just stupidness. AJ needed that judge, Ash Jones. Yeah. That Campbell Hatton. What are they going to do with that kid? Because is he going to even make Central area? It's like you've just conned. Like, you know, people talk about, you go to Germany, you go to this place and that place. As a Brit, you get skanked, but people are getting skanked left, right, and centre coming over here. Especially these Spanish lot. They're just getting bumped. They literally do have to knock out these guys to get the victory, which they are ended up having to do half the time now. But yeah, it's terrible. Stevie Wonder could have given that. Wouldn't give that to Hatton. But yeah, as far as also with this entrance as well, did you notice? Yeah, a man coming on the entrance, he's doing all this running around. He's gone forward. He's come back to start hugging someone. I think it was a woman or something in the crowd, like someone he knew. But you're meant to be zoned in. He's going around hugging people in the crowd. I'm thinking, what on earth is he doing? Like, this is a madness. He's going around hugging people, spudding everybody. It looked like proper Rocky. Remember when Rocky fought Clubber Lang the first time? It was a joke. Like, he was not. That was not a man who comes on warm up. You don't see Floyd Mayweather going around doing that. You don't see Mike Tyson going around doing that, hugging people in the crowd. This ain't no Bret Hart show. Like, this is, come on. It's stupidness. Then I see Spencer Fearon even said, learn from the greats in the past of what not to do. Don't run to the ring. George Foreman ran to the ring in the Rumble in the Jungle. You saw what happened to him. You don't see man running to the ring. Man who run into the ring, it's all a bit... Even, I remember when Adrian Broner, he didn't run to the ring, but he was a bit too hyped. Remember when he fought Madonna, he's coming out, like, I'm thinking, all right, mate, you're actually having a rave? Like, come on. Like, with Nassim, yeah, he'd be bubbling, so it's low energy. But when a man's going too hard in the paint, it's a bit nervous energy, ain't it? Don't you? It's a bit too much. Who's this? Sag. Who's this? Oh, Sag. Let's say one boxer side. Okay, he wants to come on. No, come on. Who is he?
Bro, how's it going, Dan?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, not bad, thanks. I just saw your video, man. Is all this talk about what's happening with AJ and whatnot, man? There's like lots of different angles to it.
Yeah, so give up what you saw. What happened?
Yeah, I just caught, just as I logged on, I caught your bit about, you know, the ring walk and that, yeah? And for me, the thing that caught you, I don't know what you think, but it was too bloody overdone. The ring walk was overdone. He had all the bloody pyrotechnics. Then he stood on that bloody stage. They had two different types of ring walk. And Usyk, it was just like one ring walk, focused, on the ball, in a ring, get ready to business, yeah? AJ was like waving out like all his mates and everything. Sorry to be overly hyperactive, yeah? But I'm just trying to give you people like the gist of it, or the way I saw it is waving to everybody, hello everyone, you know, sort of high-fiving his mates and things in a crowd, or just ran. Then you had all the fireworks going on. It's like the entrance to a pop concert. And, you know, you're fighting against... I mean, I don't know whether Joshua underestimated Usyk, because I had it, I'm going to be honest with you, I had it 60-40 for Joshua. I had it 60-40. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to give you some more facts in a minute.
You're talking about going into the fight.
Sorry?
You're talking about going into the fight.
Yeah, I was talking about going into the ring. And then it's just like Usyk was like right on the ball, yeah, whereas Joshua, it was almost like a pop concert entry. And I felt he should have just, like you said with the running bit, I remember that George Foreman running to the ring kind of thing. And, you know, those things. I think with George, basically, he was so keen to just get smashed into Muhammad Ali, yeah, that he didn't quite use his brain. And Ali by that time was like wily as an old fox, wasn't he? And he just like got Foreman to just burn himself out and then just eventually took him out.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I forgot my chain of thought now, dare I say. I mean, but how the other thing I was going to mention, sorry, I just remembered that. Do you think Joshua, two or three things, I'm going to ask you lots of questions because somebody else might want to join in. Do you think Joshua came in too light for that fight?
No, because he came in 242 for Pulev, only 2 pounds more, and he came in 240, I believe, a bit less.
He came in 240. Officially, he was 240.
For Ruiz 2, let me finish. For Ruiz 2, he came in around 240 as well. So it weren't a fact that he was too light. No.
Yeah, because for me, with Ruiz, first time round, he got his tactics wrong. In the sense that he should have probably boxed and kept at range against a sort of shortish, sort of fast hands type of fighter. And against Usyk, quite a few people have said this. Like George Foreman said it. Coincidentally, he should have sort of from the get-go got his sort of imposed himself a bit more as a bigger man. Maybe I do think personally he could have come in around the 250 mark, just a little bit bulkier, just a little bit sort of bludgeoning kind of thing, and look to sort of like put the heat on Usyk. He sort of tried to almost like outbox the boxer. They say in boxing you sort of box the fighter and fight the boxer. Yeah. I don't know whether you heard that analogy.
He tried to possibly beat the man at his own game, which was quite arrogant.
At his own game kind of thing.
Quite arrogant. Well, let me wait a minute. Let me just get read some comments out. Base the kid. AJ.
Cool.
AJ checked out mentally at this point. To get that hunger back, he needs to be more active, like how Canelo is moving right now. I agree.
Yeah.
Red stands on the stage normal. That's true. He has done the stage thing with the big AJ firework type thing. Ash Jones, Usyk lives boxing. That's why AJ wants the money, I think. I wouldn't say that.
No, I wouldn't say that. AJ does train. Joshua, he's not one of those only in the camp kind of guys. He's training year round pretty much, isn't he?
Yeah, he's always in shape. You don't see him, with iced out watches and bling and
You don't see him getting a little patty around the middle, do you? A little portly or soft around the fleshy around the midriff in between fights and that. He's always
in shape. Chris, he's made a lot of money. Maybe the hunger isn't what it was. I wouldn't say that, but I would say that I think he needs to cut down on the sponsor because he's got too many sponsor obligations, which I think could be quite draining for him.
Do you think entourage is too big as well?
Very.
Do you think he's got?
It's Mike Tyson looking.
You've got a lot of lackeys around there, like, yo, AJ, you're bad, man, this and that, where somebody might say,
It's Mike Tyson looking, minus the guys ain't really from the streets and that type of stuff. But, looking good to me. Ash Jones, AJ looking to be going similar way to Conor McGregor, made an absolute mint, hunger's gone. Overread. Danny, send the link. Okay, I'll send it to you. Give me a couple of minutes. Ash Jones, Pulev ain't Usyk. Yeah, of course Pulev ain't Usyk.
Yeah. I mean, Usyk is. Also the thing is, to an extent, with Joshua, in some ways, it's a bit like George Foreman the first time round, or like even Nigel Benn. They've sort of like. They don't have he doesn't have that extensive background, neither amateur of like a Usyk or Fury, who's had like hundreds of amateur fights. Been boxing a long time.
Fury didn't have hundreds. He didn't have that many.
But he's been in and around boxing for a very long time, from a very almost early age. So even if he didn't box like hundreds of fights, I don't know what he had, about 70, 80, something like that?
I'm not even sure. I think he probably had about maybe 30 fights. But
he's had a long, but he's been ingrained into the sport of boxing for a very long time, isn't it?
Yeah, what I'll say is he is born into him because his dad was a fighter, his uncle was a fighter. He's from a culture where they was boxing in bare
Yeah,
knuckle on camp.
boxing, some form, even, you know, unlicensed form or off the record boxing fights and stuff. You know, he's picked up those widely old street fighting skills and things like that. You know, I think, you know, just little subtle variations on things.
Yeah, he's had a lot of fights on the cobbles and bare knuckle and stuff like that. So he knows his way. But what's it? I'm gonna get October Red on that. So,
60, 70, Ash reckons, yeah. That's right, Ash. Yeah, nice one, Ash. Yeah, Fury Amateur at 32 and 4 doesn't really sound great when you look at it on the cards, does it really? But
I had more than that. I had 43. So yeah. But let me get October Red on now. So coming on though.
But you started boxing when you was quite young, innit, Dan?
Yeah. Hey October.
Hey.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Where you at? You shopping?
Yeah, gotta get food.
Okay, yeah. Got it.
Anti-food stuff.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts and opinions on what transpired?
Too many voices in the corner.
Yeah.
Too many people talking.
Yeah.
Rob McCracken not getting the respect that he deserves for what he's done for AJ so far.
Yeah. No, I don't.
His wins. Gave AJ his original aggressive style, come forward style, and people are stamping on him like he's rubbish. The disrespect is totally unreal. Joshua's, it just seems as if he's got too many voices, so he's lost who he is. Who is he as a fighter? He's an aggressive, come forward, push forward, counter puncher, combination puncher, sorry. We didn't see that.
1 second, October. What's it, Staj? If you could log off.
Yeah, I'll come off. No worries, man. Take care, yeah?
Yeah, take care, man. Cheers. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, we know what AJ's style is. AJ's style is like, he's a combination puncher. He was in there, he wasn't hitting first. His jabs didn't seem to have that much power. And it seems like he was not really wanting to use that right hand, which makes me think, is there something wrong with his right hand? I was saying, why isn't he using it? When he was going back into the corner, his main coach was giving him the advice of double jab, push forward, use the backhand, stay offline, move from side to side. He had all the correct advice from his main coach, but there's other voices. So it's like he was going out there and he had like, to me, it just looked like a mental overload. Because as you can see, when the fight finished and he went back into the corner, he was absolutely exhausted. He looked so drained. He was hanging over the ropes, face out to the crowd, like he just had the beating of his life. But when he sat down, it was like he was in excruciating, exhausting pain. People are not looking at that. So rewind. So you've got someone that's gone through those rounds, all of them, is exhausted. Rewind back through the fight, rewind back through the ring walk, run into the ring, like you said. We all know what happens when you run to the ring. It was sort of like reminiscent of when he went to fight Ruiz. Too friendly. I'm not your brethren. I want to take your head off. We're going to war. We can have selfies. We can be friends after. But right about now, you're my enemy. And that's a fight that he's always respectful. Yeah, but it's like he just lost that venom. You know, remember when he sat down? Remember, I always go back to the Dillian White fight because that was beautiful. You know, the beef was there. They were angry with each other, and that is the AJ that should go into every fight because he digs deep. Then he goes deep. Remember when Dillian wobbled him, and he had to like shake it off and come back.
Yeah,
you can see that in this one, and it was quite sad to watch, if I'm honest, as a true, you know, heavyweight boxing fan. But absolute credit to Usyk. Did AJ show us what he's got, or did Usyk just show AJ for the boxer that he is? It's one of them that we won't really be able to tell until the rematch, because we saw no combinations. We saw the right hand not really being thrown, and we saw him not throwing first. Even at the point when they were in the clinch, Usyk dragged him out the clinch and pushed him back What?
Yeah.
Hey, you got a stone on him, blood. What you doing? How dare you? How dare you as a cruiserweight, as a lighter heavyweight, whatever you want to call it, come and bully me? It was
Yeah.
just off.
Yeah. It's mad. And yeah, that's the thing. Also, for instance, had Joshua gone into the Jarrell Miller fight instead of that first Ruiz fight, we would have seen him bruck up Jarrell because, as you said, once he's not in nice guy mode, for instance, like when Dillian White when they had beef. So obviously Jarrell's pushed him.
It's
He was ready
difficult.
to. He
Yeah.
was going to bruck him up. He
Yeah.
was, but then once he saw Andy Ruiz, he thought, the chocolate. He's all nice and friendly. Same when I see him taking selfies. I don't know if you saw the selfie thing he did with
Yeah.
Usyk. But
What you doing?
yeah. Yeah, it's not. He can't be doing all that friendly because that's when,
Yeah.
as you said, that's when he ain't got that in him when he does that. Whereas someone like if he fought Tyson Fury, because they've got a little needle, we'd actually see him reel off combinations. I didn't see AJ even throw the uppercut on the inside as he always
Where's that
does.
uppercut? Man throws 5 at a time. Where was it? Because Usyk was open for it.
Oh yeah,
He caught him, he stunned him, and then it's like he froze. Like, what do I do now? Man,
yeah,
go in there and finish him. Look at what he did to his face. He was working him. He just didn't seem to follow through. And I'm
yeah,
just saying, I think that was to do with information overload. Because
yeah.
he was mentally exhausted.
Mm.
It was sad to watch.
Yeah, and did you see at the end? Remember when like he was getting rocked at the end, and when the bell went, he's like punched the air like you know when
Hallelujah.
no, but you know when a journeyman gets through the round, say don't get a 28-day ban, he just looked to not get stopped.
We're not going to talk about the 5 seconds early then.
7. It was 6 or 7. That was a bit mad.
5, whatever.
Yeah, it was a bit early. But to be fair, Usyk did stop. He finished that combination already. He'd finished. He'd stopped the onslaught. So he was going to get through that 5-6 seconds anyway because he'd stopped punching. Because AJ stood back and started sticking his tongue out. So the rally had already stopped by then. So it's not really much.
But the bell goes when the bell goes. The bell doesn't go when you stop punching. You know that.
Yeah, I know that. I know. But yeah, I don't think he would have stopped him though. But even if he would have got, I don't think not in that 5 seconds.
He was loading up. He was loading up to, and he's, I don't know. What's Bay said? A lot of the damage on Usyk's face weren't from punches.
What were they from?
So what were they from then?
I didn't see headbutts. I didn't even see much grappling inside. He should have definitely used some grappling techniques on him. Usyk got told by Papashenko, don't KO him, he said. Yeah, you can get told that because obviously you got to be, boxing first. But if the opening's there, Usyk definitely went for the stoppage at the end there.
Yeah,
you can't tell me. He definitely can't tell me he didn't try it then.
Yeah.
He definitely did. And he rocked AJ a couple of times on his heel. Yeah, a couple of times it was a couple of toe steps, but he was definitely hurt. He got hurt by the overhand sweeping left. The same punch he took out Bellew with him. He hit him with that shot. And I remember I see AJ get hit with that shot by that Bulgarian in the amateurs. Remember when he got stopped? That short cannonball looking.
Well, you've said the first word, short.
Yeah. That short cannonball, that Bulgarian. Yeah. So he does have trouble with them kind of guys. But also, as you said about the information overload, I think that's very true because what he is, AJ, I've always said he's like a choreographed boxer. Like a choreographed dancer. Like there's natural dancers.
Yeah, he's a chameleon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a choreographed boxer. So if you overload the hard drive,
it's off. Because Usyk boxes off rhythm. Everything Usyk does is rhythm. He bounces, he rolls his right hand, so it's like he does a pretend feint, and you've got to literally parry that and come back in. It's brave because obviously you can get countered, and all right, it could do some damage. But I think once you find Usyk's rhythm, you've just got to go inside, parry that, attack it, and just go inside. The body, because Usyk's such a wonderful mover. The only way to stop him from moving is to attack the body, to take his legs away. That's what you do. You've got to literally take his legs away. And then, how's he going to move? Then you can stand and trade with him. AJ likes to fight close up. He likes to throw those combinations. You have to be inside to do that. I'm not saying that AJ can't box at distance, because he can. We've seen that. But when he causes the most damage, it's from those inside combinations, those 4 uppercuts, that backhand. But you could see he was literally holding that hand up to his chin, the right hand, and just like, just not really throwing it. Because I remember saying, is there something wrong with his right hand? Is something wrong? Why is he not throwing that punch?
Yeah.
And he's just like, the jab wasn't really like forceful. But like I said, Rob was telling him what to do. But then there's other voices. I'm hearing someone shout, well done, spot on, hey, spot on, Josh, whatever. And I'm thinking, yo, my man's getting pummeled. What are you on about? What are you fighting him for?
Yeah, that man's on a salary, that's why.
So I'm thinking, yo, what, am I watching something else?
So what did you think about Darren Barker's, he had it even after 8 rounds?
I don't tend to listen, so I don't think anything.
Oh, okay.
I really don't listen to the, I just watch it and take it in myself. I'll switch off when it comes to the commentary, if I'm honest. Because and like I said, like those extra voices, it can sway your decision. So you need to watch it raw and then look at what you can see. You can watch a boxing match on mute. You're probably better off watching it on mute, but I can literally zone out and not listen to what they're saying. So I don't watch anything, if I'm honest.
No, it was, you know, when between rounds, when they tally up at the bottom of the screen, like after 8, and they said, oh yeah, Darren's he's got it even. But so I can watch commentary, but I know I'm scoring this myself. Like, I don't get influenced. Obviously, I'm casual. Yeah. By the commentary, because they're good at that, you know, it well. But I know how to not listen to them. So, but I just thought, Darren, what? Come on, stop.
I think the heart rules it, innit? Because they want to see their fighter win. You know, it was hard for me to literally sit down and watch what was happening to him, because of course I want AJ to win. I appreciate Usyk as a fighter, but I followed AJ all the way from when he stepped out of the Olympics and turned pro. So you feel like you've got a connection with that fighter. So it's hard not to be biased, but it was hard not to give Usyk his credit, because I'm sitting there and thinking, did my man even win that round? And it's like clocking up on like, AJ, you're gonna have to go in and knock him out now. You're gonna have to knock him out. You're gonna have to knock him out. Yo, you're gonna knock him out. And it's like, it's just not happening. And then Usyk is getting stronger. But like I said, it was the clinch that threw me when he got. AJ tried to get him into a clinch and my man just threw him off. I'm like, what? Just totally dominated it.
Yeah. It's man. Yeah, I know what you mean. That because obviously he's with the surge of AJ coming out of the Olympics, he's put so much. He's helped so many fighters out. You know, the shows, the paydays for everybody, even the man who comes on first cutting the ribbon. You know, he's transcended the sport. So it's hard when he loses. British boxing loses. Absolutely. You know. So yeah, a lot of people, I see them giving AJ stick and stuff, but they have to remember, without him, the sport wouldn't be where it is today. Eddie Hearn wouldn't be able to build the platforms he's building of game changer stuff. With without the back of someone like Anthony Joshua, who's very marketable and stuff like that.
It's the face of British boxing. Do you know what I mean? He's done a lot for the sport. He's brought a lot of people that wouldn't necessarily be boxing back into it. You know. He's done so much. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's painful to watch. It was sort of like, even though I like Tony Bellew, it was sort of like the Hay-Bellew fight. And you saw what was happening to Hay, how he was just getting destroyed, and obviously had the injury, but you can see him like biting down on that gum shield to try and carry on. It was like, it was one of those moments like turning away from the screen. It's like, look at this, you know, the David and Goliath thing, the giants just getting battered. And it's hard to watch. Yeah,
painful. Yeah, and I know with the ladies, when you see people like David Hay and Anthony Joshua getting beat up, I know you know they're the ladies' favourites.
No. I'm a boxing fan. It's got nothing to do with how they look. Trust me, because they can look really nice and be rotten to the core as people. I'm just there for the fights. You get me twisted with some other ladies.
No, not necessarily you. Not necessarily you, but I know it's a lot of female fans, because when you go to AJ fights and David Hay fights, you see a lot more women in the crowd, like going out like they're going to a party than you would. Right, okay. You go to something like a Dillian White show, you're going to see a lot of goons, you know, a lot of
the one glove wearers.
Yeah, the one
Boxing
glove.
hat through.
Yeah, the man bag strap. So yeah.
Yeah, but nah,
Yeah.
we'll have to see. Is he gonna win the rematch? Should he take the rematch? Yes. Will he win the rematch? I don't know. Because if he goes in as his normal aggressive self and just literally starts taking the risk, Dillian White brought it up and bite down on your gum shield, take the risk, do it. I think if he does that, his style, and not try to mimic 17,000 boxers in the ring, just be him, who he is as a fighter. Yeah, I think he can.
Yeah, but I think the best bet would be for him to go to Ukraine, because then he hasn't. Then
Oh
he's got.
yeah.
He needs to go into his den, because I think that will bring it out of him.
Yeah, and as an Olympian, he would have travelled anyway, so boxing abroad should not be a problem. Yeah, I do agree.
Yeah. Well, as you've seen, Usyk, I don't think he's actually had a homecoming yet. Everything he's done has been on away.
Yeah, he does take
Everything.
when he's in other countries, doesn't he?
Yeah, the whole Super Series thing, the Michael Hunter, Tony Bellew, Derek Chisora, Chaz Witherspoon, none of them have been in Ukraine, not one.
But it's a boxing ring, isn't it? And at the end of the day, you can get. I guess with anything, you can get too comfortable with your home comforts. You've got to step out of that comfort zone. And at the end of the day, it's a boxing ring. But it's easy for me to say I'm not a professional boxer. I don't climb through the ropes. You know, my opinion at the end of the day means shit. But I do understand a little bit about the sport, and I do actually give a shit about the fighters as well, because it's not easy for them to do what they're doing. You know, and that's why I kind of get annoyed when it's all of a sudden, oh yeah, oh, where's man gonna go now? Oh, he got exposed, this, that, blah. The boxing fans are so fickle, but they're not looking at all of the training that he's doing. And like I said, that's why I rewound the fight. I looked at him in the ring, and he just looked absolutely exhausted at the end. Like you said, man's punching the air like to say, yay, it's over. Get me out of here.
Yeah. And also, remember, he did have a long camp, because remember, he was scheduled to fight Fury. So he started like January.
Yeah.
To be fair. So he could have overdone it, overcooked it. Even when he was out in, remember when he was out on holiday and he saw Tyson Fury last year?
Yes.
He was still training them times as well.
Yeah.
But it's like he hasn't really had a time to rest. Whereas someone like Usyk now, yeah, he's gone away, but he's been away from his wife for like 8 months. So he's gone into that demon mode. Like he's at the fight he had was on his wedding anniversary, so he's just ready to just bruck that up.
Somebody mentioned to me earlier to look at the fighter's eyes. That's how you see the determination. And if you look at Usyk's eyes, you saw, like, you know, round 1, AJ showed that respect with the gloves. He went to do it at the end of round 2. Usyk weren't on that. War.
Yeah.
And fair enough, if you're a fighter and you want to touch gloves, that's entirely up to you. That's your thing. It's a mark of respect. But I think Usyk didn't respect him, didn't respect his power, and that's why he gained that confidence to think, well, actually, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to make it look light.
Yeah, I'm not into fighters touching gloves. This ain't sparring. You do that in sparring. In a bout, this is life and death. This is your paycheck. This is your future. Like, all that touching gloves. That's why Usyk's thought, nah, we're not doing it.
He had no respect. There was just no respect. And like I said, even from when he was clinching him and just ragging him about like a doll, there's no respect there. I've never seen no one rag AJ around like that.
Yeah, but it shows that whatever Usyk was doing with his strength training he's put on the weight well, so he's obviously physically strong. You know what I mean? But it just shows you that,
it was just mentally drained, I think. I don't think it was anything to do with his Asiatics. I do think he was just mentally drained.
Ash Jones 23, get this lady on more, Dan. Yeah, we will. Also follow her channel. Follow her channel, guys. October Red. Make sure you follow October Red. She gives great content. She's got a YouTube channel as well. So make sure you subscribe to that, guys, as well, so you can get more of that.
Yeah, but it's about fight fan with breaking down this fight. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think about the rematch?
I think if he does take it immediately, he has to go to Ukraine. He can't do it here.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work. He has to go into that. He has to go into that Rocky versus Ivan Drago mode, running in snow, no brains. Him, Rob, maybe his Finchley coach, and bring Benger because he's his cousin.
Yeah.
3-man, and then
out there in the cabins.
Yeah. He's got. Yeah. Yeah. All this cryotherapy, ice chambers, and special masks when you're running, and your battle ropes and your high tech. All that state of the art gear, S&C, strength and conditioning. But you see, he didn't have the strength in there, and he wasn't conditioned. So you see, this was another thing. When I keep telling people about S&C, it's all bogus, because your favorite fighter from the past didn't do strength and conditioning, and they was doing 15 rounds. Gatti and Ward, Pereira, Morales, they had no S&C, and they were more conditioned than fighters today. Yeah. And the guys on the heavyweights from yesterday were more stronger on the inside than the heavyweights now. None of the guys can fight on the inside really as heavyweights. Guys like Riddick Bowe, can you imagine what he would have had done with his man on the inside? Evander Holyfield. We can reel off the name. So, yeah, he needs to hit the...
Road running, Raptor, road running, heavy bags, core work, old school.
Beanie hat on.
Yeah, old old school always wins, and it's lovely the way that things have developed in technology. I understand that, but I think AJ mentioned watching throwback fighters and wanting to do certain things. You've got to train like they did then, because they have what we had in this modern day. If you're talking about throwback, you got to do throwback not just with the boxing, but with the training. But that disturbed me a little bit was the crunk style. I'm thinking, your trainer's standing there and you're talking about crunk. What are you doing? Are you sort of undermining what you're training? No, his style is his style. You take a little bit, like you do. You're cooking in the kitchen. You're making your version of that same food. It will always have your sauce. It will always be you. People can go out and eat it elsewhere, but it's not going to taste the same. You have to be you, no one else. And that's what I just think he was lacking. I think George Foreman nailed it. Who was it that night? Was it George Foreman that tweeted?
Yeah, it was George.
Yeah, he nailed it. You've got to be. It's just like if you saw me, like, I don't know, dressing like other people, acting like other people, losing who October Red is. That's not me. I have to be me. It doesn't matter if people don't like it. People are not going to like things anyway. That's okay. But as long as I keep progressing, I don't care.
100. Yeah, real talk. But yeah, and the thing is, he shouldn't be saying about the crunk style, because that really means you're trying to pay homage to Tyson Fury's training.
That's what I thought. And I was like, too much, just too much. But you can see, like I said, this is obviously the different influences he's been having, and it's just information overload. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of crunk there. I'm going to do a bit of Rocky Marciano. Brother, do you? Yeah,
because he's going to say a bit of Eddie Reynoso, a bit of Papachenko, a bit of Freddie Roach, a bit of Floyd.
Yeah, but I will stand here and say, I said, AJ's a chameleon. What he'll do is he'll learn his fighter style and he'll mimic it and beat them at their own game. I did say that because that's what we've seen him do before, because that's how he outboxed Ruiz in the end. Do you know what I mean? He's able to chameleonize, to be able to get a style to beat his opponent. Can't do that with Usyk.
No.
It's a different type of boxer. I've never seen someone bounce around, move so much, throw shots, jump into shots, jump out of range, turn around, he's gone. What side is he on? Where's he going next? I spoke to an old school trainer that's retired now, been in the game for a very long time, and he says you don't plan for a fight. You teach your fighters how to fight off instincts. So your fighter should be able to go in the ring, look at his opponent, and say, I can anticipate what he's going to do because I've got those instincts, and those instincts come from being able to defend yourself. Like that flinch kind of sort of like Klitschko, flinchy, the defense.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
No. Yeah.
read your opponents. Somebody could drop out, like you mentioned about Big Baby Miller dropping out, because obviously my man loved the things and it, and then obviously, yeah, and then obviously Ruiz coming in as a last minute. You should be able to read your opponent. Boxing IQ. Get fighters in there. Get different fighters in there. Say, yeah, I've got someone down to spar you today. Who? You don't need to know. Just turn up and spar. Because then what you're doing, you're keeping them on the toes. When you keep people on the toes, their reaction times are quicker. Because they don't know what's coming next, so they're reading things.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah, because what it is, I noticed AJ, he does spark a lot of the guys, the same guys. You know, he brings in the Fraser Clarks, the Waddies, the Gerald Washingtons. So it's like, as you said, you need to have a man just from the middle of Dagestan. Like, but don't tell him. Just say, oh yeah, we've got some kid coming in. You know, pretty handy. So yeah, see you tomorrow, mate.
On the phone, yo, to wherever, Uzbekistan, Ukraine. You got any fighters? You got any even like amateurs, heavyweight amateurs that are coming up, or light heavyweights, whatever, that are quicker than him, lighter than him, so we can learn how to deal with speed. Don't tell him who's coming. Just turn up, spar.
Yeah.
Build your instincts, create that nervous energy. You need to be able to think, what's my man? And you'll learn how to read what's coming, because you'll see, because people have habits. If they're going to throw a certain shot, you'll be able to pick up a certain habit. Even if you spar 10 different men, there'll be a certain thing that they'll all do. Instinct. You'll be able to start to read that and develop your style on that. How are you going to fight as yourself, as your style, your fight style? How are you going to adapt to that? And that's the beautiful thing about boxing, is developing who you are. You can take things from other people, but it's about developing who you are. My style became the Crunk style because it was individual. AJ needs to become the AJ and have the AJ style. So there's people talking about his style.
Yeah.
And that'll be beautiful.
Yeah, real talk. Similar to the Winkerbank style with Brendan Ingle. There's yeah.
There you go. A household style that you can claim that's yours.
Yeah. There you go. And there you have it, guys. So yeah, thank you, October Red.
No, man. Sorry I look a bit, well, I always look a mess actually, but yeah, thanks for having me on.
No, we're keeping it real, man. We're here. So yeah.
Smoke later, yeah?
Huh?
Monday night smoke later, yeah?
Yeah. I'm gonna catch you up on there. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Pick me out, and lovely to speak to you, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah.
I don't have to...
Follow October Red on our YouTube channel and Instagram. Guys, it's been emotional. We're out. Peace.